Hello, welcome to PTB Designs for You. And today I was asked to demonstrate a herringbone ring, a herringbone ring design. And I was like, okay, I can do that. I've done it before. I don't know if I've made a ring. Yeah, I have made a ring out of it before. And so this was my practice to see if I really remembered how to do it. So it's very, as far as tools are concerned, you're going to need a um, rubber mallet. You're also going to need a ring mandrel. You're going to need a piece of wire, and this is a 10-inch wire, and this is 16 gauge wire. Now, I have not tried this on 16 gauge, and I'm probably setting myself up for a trial and tribulation, but I wanted to use this multicolored wire, and it's 20 gauge. So me in my head thinking, okay, if this is 20 gauge, then I probably have to use something, a little bit thicker than 20 gauge in order to set it off right. And I looked and looked, and I just don't have 18 for some reason. And that's kind of weird for me not to have 18 gauge wire. I got everything else but anyway, so I'm going to see. So the first thing I want to do is I want to take, I said 10 inches of the 16 gauge wire, and I'm going to take about 12 inches or so of this multicolored wire. And you're going to also need a bead that will fit on your whatever gauge wire you're using. So I'm using a black matte 10 millimeter bead because everything is big in this one. So I have big bead, big wrapping wire. Usually we wrap with 24, 26 gauge wire. But like I said, I just wanted to use this one because it was multicolored. Gold, black, and silver. I just wanted to see what it looked like. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take, try to find the middle. I said this is about 10. So I'm going to find about the middle. Make sure. And this is about the middle. So I'm going to take my wrapping wire and wrap it once and twice around my base. Okay. So then I don't need this anymore, so I'm going to snip this off because it will get in your way. And I'm going to take me some chain nose pliers and just marry that in there. Okay. And another thing with using a heavier wire, the distance between how many wraps you get may be a little different. Like with 26 and 24, I might can get 5, 6 good wraps. And since this is my first time using a 20 gauge wire, I don't know. So this is my trial and error. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to wrap this around my bead and make sure it's tight. Come to the front of the bead and go around, keeping it tight and together all the way around. I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to come down the opposite side. Same thing. I'm going to make it tight come around the front of the bead and go under where you started and come around, turn, and this time I'm going to go behind the wire that I started with. I'm going to go behind it, come in front, over my last wrap, take it one full turn, turn it, come down behind the wire previously there. Okay, come to the front, under the last wrap, wrap it one good time, bring it up. The straighter the wire, the better the look. So, you don't want to have a lot of bends in it. So far, with my multicolor wrapping wire, I'm seeing black on the sides, and I'm seeing maybe some gold, maybe a little bit of silver on the bottom wraps on the herringbone side. So I'm turning it, kind of straightening my wire a little bit. I'm going to go behind the previous wire and wrap around. Now, since I'm making a ring, I don't want to make it too wide because, it's a ring. So if I make it too wide, it's not going to bend and come around my finger right. So you want to get about as many, you want to get even amounts on both sides. So I think I need to come up one more time since I started at the bottom. Now we're here. Okay. So I think that's all I'm going to do. There's my herringbone. Now to get this in a ring style, now I'm going to say two things. One thing I'm going to say is, if you know the person's ring size that you're making it for, if you're making it for yourself, then you can make a closed ring. But if you don't know the ring size, you can absolutely make a adjustable ring. And that's totally your choice. So, but for whatever ring size, I'm going to go all the way down to 10. Because that's how big my fingers are. Well, the middle finger, that's the finger I think I want to wear it on. So I'm going to come underneath and bring it all the way around. Probably won't get a good 10 size because this goes to 10. And really, if I wanted a good 10 size ring, I would go larger than that. So in my new year, I'm going to try to find a ring mandrel that would go past 10. So, and what you want to do is you want to tighten it as much as you can while it's on the mandrel. And I happened to look at my father's garage, and I seen he had a stand, a vice thing that a clamp. So I'm going to go out there and get that clamp, and I'm going to start using it to hold things. Wow. Like for this, I can use a clamp so that I can grab this and pull it. See, this is what 16 gauge wire does though. So I'm going to try to pull it as tight as I can so I can get the size that I want. 16 gauge, and this is half hard. It's not as forgiving. Okay, I'm gonna take it off this if I didn't tighten it too much in that groove. I'm gonna take it off this and just try it on. Let me go ahead and snip this. I was gonna leave it because I was gonna use it, see if I can use it for more kind of a decoration, but I know I ain't. So snip that off. I don't have my glasses on. I know better. So I can see what is going on, what the Pam is cooking. So I'm gonna just get that real smooth like in here so we don't have any scratchies or hurties. Okay, so try it on my finger. I said the middle finger. And the reason why is because, like I said, that ring mandrel just goes to 10, and I'm a good 10 on this finger. So I put it up to there just to see. Now I know when I start wrapping this, it's going to get a little tighter. So I'm not going to be wrapping it too much because I don't want to lose my size. But after I get it pulled to each side and it's the size that I want, I'm going to take this base wire and wrap it once. Wrap it once. And like I said, this is 16 gauge, so I don't want to mess up my herringbone with this. And I'm going to wrap it again. And that's going to be it for the wrapping. Okay. And I'm going to snip it. I should have brought it. I really like to end it in the back instead of in the front. I'm not going to try to wrap this middle because I know that I'll shrink my size. So I'm just taking the wrap on the outer end, the outermost circle, because I don't want to lose any of my size, because it's the perfect size. And when the ring is on, you're not going to see that anyway. Get that good and tight. Wrap that around good and tight. You know, I'm going to say this. Uh, I started making jewelry because I have big hands, I have big size wrists, and when I go to fairs or whatever, wherever, they just didn't have my size. It was always small. So, I got so frustrated that I started making my own. I said that to say, when you're designing, I know everybody's wrist ain't like mine, but I would make some for people that do have bigger hands or bigger, larger wrist or whatever. Because, we're people too. We like jewelry and stuff too. I mean, even, when I was smaller or whatever, I still had trouble, you know, finding my sizes. So this is the finished product. I do have silver in with the multicolor, and after wiring, I could have chose a better looking stone, but there we go. And there is our herringbone ring. Like I said, I would usually use a 20 gauge wire or something, and then a 24 or 26 gauge to wrap. But since I was using a 20 gauge wire, I just went bigger with the base with 16. So there it is, herringbone ring. Thank you for watching. Like and comment. Please comment. Just because I like talking to y'all. Thank you for watching. This is PTB Designs for You. And I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.